The day began with the tang of jet fuel on the wind and the low, distant growl of turbines. Melbourne Airport's Runway 34 was alive, its concrete veins carrying the lifeblood of modern aviation. The viewing platform, just a few meters from the fence, was already peppered with dedicated spotters, cameras with telephoto lenses like rifles on tripods, not aimed to kill, but to capture. Among them stood Liam Carter, a seasoned plane spotter with a weathered Nikon D850 slung around his neck. For Liam, this wasn't just a hobby, it was a love affair with machines that could defy gravity. He had been tipped off that today, in just under an hour, 5 of the world's largest aircraft would depart one after the other. A rare alignment of international schedules and perfect winter weather. The first hint of excitement came as the control tower's voice crackled over the scanner. Qantas 93 Heavy, line up and wait, runway 34. Liam adjusted his lens and focused. The hulking silhouette of an Airbus A380 emerged from behind the terminal, taxiing with a slow majesty that made ground vehicles look like ants. Its double-decked fuselage gleamed in the morning sun, each window like a porthole in a cruise ship. The jet paused at the threshold, engines idling at a deep, resonant hum. Then, throttle advance. 4 Rolls-Royce Trent 900 spooled up, the sound growing from a bass growl to a chest-shaking roar. The heat shimmer from the exhaust warped the background like a mirage. Liam's fingers twitched on the shutter. Click, 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 click. The giant began to roll, slowly at first, then accelerating with startling force. At barely 50 meters away, Liam could see every rivet, every flap hinge, every heat wave twisting the air. As the A380 thundered past, the blast of jet wash buffeted the crowd, flapping jackets and rattling camera straps. Then, with an almost lazy grace, it lifted off, wheels tucking in as it soared into the clear blue. "That's one," Liam whispered to himself, heart pounding. Minutes later, a deeper, throatier rumble filled the air. This wasn't a passenger jet. It was Atlas Air Flight 572, a Boeing 747-8F cargo freighter bound for Anchorage. Liam knew the sound of GE's G-Inc.'s 2B-67 engines well. They had a growl that vibrated in his bones. The plane was colossal. Its elongated humpback fuselage seemed almost prehistoric, like some steel-boned leviathan. The takeoff roll was faster than the A380's, the engines bellowing as the nose lifted sharply. The sight of those 4 General Electric engines tearing the air apart from such close range made Liam's pulse spike. He could smell the burnt kerosene in the back of his throat. The 747 rose, its wings flexing under the lift, climbing hard into the northern sky. The crowd clapped instinctively. Plane spotting was often silent, but there was something about a 747 that broke all rules. "That's 2, Liam muttered, eyes still following the departing giant. The scanner crackled again. Emirates 407 Heavy, cleared for takeoff, runway 34. Another A380, this one wearing the golden-red Emirates livery, taxied into view. Liam zoomed in, noting the shimmering heat haze from the engines as the pilots pushed the throttles forward. This takeoff was different, more aggressive. The massive jet surged down the runway, the whine of its turbines peaking into a full, thunderous crescendo. As it passed Liam's position, the ground shook. His camera viewfinder shook too, forcing him to steady his stance and lean into the blast. The takeoff angle was steep, and as it climbed away, the sun caught the belly of the aircraft, painting it in liquid gold. Liam grinned. It wasn't just about the planes. It was about moments like this. "That's 3. A lull fell over the runway for nearly 10 minutes, the crowd murmuring, comparing shots, adjusting equipment. Then, an unusual sight. A United States Air Force C-5M Super Galaxy lumbered into view. Gasps rose from the crowd. It was rare to see one here. The C-5M was one of the largest military transport planes in existence, capable of carrying tanks and helicopters inside its cavernous belly. Its gray paint looked almost menacing against the bright sky. The engine spooled with a muted, almost eerie tone, quieter than the civilian heavies, but still monstrously powerful. The takeoff roll was surprisingly long. Liam could see the nose straining to lift. Then it broke free, climbing slowly, almost reluctantly, like a sleeping giant waking up. "That's 4, Liam whispered, but there was a new tension in his voice now. The 5th takeoff was supposed to be the climax. The tower's voice came again, sharper than before. "Singapore 228 Heavy, hold position." Possible wildlife on the runway. A ripple of confusion passed through the spotters. Liam squinted down the runway. Nothing at first. Then, movement. A small shape scampered across the tarmac near the far end, a kangaroo, bold and utterly oblivious to the world's busiest machines. Airport ground vehicles scrambled, orange lights flashing, but the kangaroo wasn't in a hurry. The crowd chuckled nervously. A plane spotting video with a kangaroo photobomb would go viral instantly. Finally, the all-clear came. The Boeing 777-300ER of Singapore Airlines lined up. Liam could feel his heart racing, not just from anticipation, but because the runway's crosswind had picked up. He'd seen videos of 777s fighting wind shear, and this looked like it could be one of those takeoffs. The engines roared, the plane accelerating hard. Just as it passed Liam's position, a sudden gust hit. He saw the wings flex violently, the fuselage yawing slightly. The pilot corrected instantly, keeping the nose on track. Then, the real drama. As the 777 lifted off, the kangaroo, apparently not done with its mischief, bounded back onto the grass just meters from the runway edge. The crowd gasped, but the aircraft was already airborne, climbing away clean. Liam kept shooting until the 777 was a speck in the distance. His fingers ached from holding the shutter down, but his heart was light. He knew what he had captured: 5 massive aircraft, each unique, each from mere meters away, with the last takeoff featuring a wild, unexpected twist. Back in his car, Liam transferred the shots to his laptop. The photos were breathtaking: heat haze, wing flecks, turbine blur, all frozen in crisp detail. But it was the final sequence that stunned even him. The 777 lifting off with the kangaroo perfectly in frame, mid-leap, a tiny shadow against the behemoth's rising wheels. He uploaded the shots to his plane spotting channel. Within hours, the video was exploding across aviation forums and social media feeds worldwide. Comments flooded in. "Best close-up spotting I've ever seen. That kangaroo is a national icon now. This is why Melbourne spotting is the best in the world." Liam leaned back, grinning. For most people, it was just planes. But for him, and for the thousands watching now, it was something more. It was the sound, the vibration, the heat, the raw power of machines that could conquer the sky, and the wild unpredictability of nature, reminding everyone that even in the most controlled environments, there's always room for the unexpected. 5 big planes, 5 unforgettable moments, and 1 kangaroo that nearly stole the show.